Okay. So I'm going to use a blank chart now to illustrate liquidity. Let me use this broker. Now we look at this broker 3 months. This is external range liquidity. This is external range liquidity. 3 month scale. So guys, external range liquidity on the 3 months. External range liquidity on the 3 months. You guys can see I barely rest, working in the office, doing this, doing that. There's no time. All these are external range liquidity because all these are dealing ranges. They are structures. All these are external range liquidity, resting above your dealing range. So all of these are external range liquidity. Why? Above those fractal highs, what is resting there? Stop losses of people that are selling. Draw on liquidity. Draw on liquidity, draw on liquidity, draw on liquidity. Can you see that? Now, when price rate this high, which was an inducement high, Now, how do you know it's an inducement high? It did not react off anything. It just fell. Nothing here significant. It just react off 50%. It just did an offered on this imbalance. When price reacts off that high, you know that anytime price is coming to that zone, it's definitely going to be taken out. That was why price rate that high, and we see a massive drop in price. So everything that accumulates above a daily high, a monthly high, a 3-month high is what? Short position. Short positions accumulate above a daily high, weekly high, 3-month high. Long positions accumulate above daily low, weekly low. You see how we rejected below this low? This is a huge history was made. This was a low that was created in 1985. I think before most of you were even giving birth to, right? That low was created in 1985. And for the first time, price did a new low. Price created a new low for the first time in how many years? 30-something years. So guys, are you following what I'm teaching?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we are following you.
I love that. Beautiful, guys. Now, if you look at, this is a 3-month chart. Liquidity rate. The last time we had price was this other blue, but cost the taking out of that high. For taking out this short-term high. Who can tell me what this high is called? Tell me. You're speaking, I can't hear you. Please, can you speak out?
Intermediate short-term high.
The short-term high.
So you see, this breakout was responsible for what took out that high. So I expect price. Remember, who can also spot what's happening in that zone?
A breakout block.
Breaker now, of course.
Yes, a breakout block.
In line with a fair value gap. So we can add consequent encroachment or a complete fill of this fair value gap for continuation of sales. Are you seeing what's happening here?
Yes, ma'am.
This is how you build your confluence. You just don't pick a zone. Now you see that I'm not just picking any zone. This took out this intermediate fair value gap, 3-month fair value gap. Now I've shown you all the lows. It has been taken out. And this was the low that carried this high that was taken out. So price moved down and took out this low. Now, where is the next target? Is still very much bullish. We might anticipate this to give us either a lower low, taking out this new low, then we continue what bullish is getting to an end. The dominance of the dollar is getting to a what? Range liquidity all through. You guys see inside all this range, I already taught you. I taught you inducement. Anything inside this range, you've been taught. Anything inside this range, you've been taught. Anything inside this range, you've been taught. External range liquidity, it accumulates short positions above those high. When it takes external range liquidity on the sell side, yeah. I believe I've made some sense today. There's not much to teach about external range. I told you guys yesterday that the major thing is internal range liquidity. This 4-hour imbalance. Can you see this 4-hour CB we have here? Fair value gap. It's filled it up and we're seeing a retracement. Now we can anticipate sell side liquidity. Have a draw on liquidity on the higher time frame. Price will be drawn to those zones on the lower time frame. Look for where you have a drawn liquidity intraday range, which is daily and 4-hour. Price will be drawn to, and see that we have a drawn liquidity right. This low react off nothing, thus making it an inducement. So this is where I'm taking the profit out on this low. Then because this low actually react off nothing, we're buying on this low right here. And anybody buying on this low there, stop losses. So I can look to take if price will give that. But on the weekly, this intraday on the buy side, what is the drawn liquidity? A long CB that price is trailing on the weekly. A long CB that price is trailing on the weekly. Now let me hide all the objects and show you the weekly. Can you see this? These are prices, and this was the last high that took out this intermediate short-term high. So you know on the weekly, we are having a drawn liquidity. So price is drawn to this zone. You can see that, right? Price is drawn to this CB range and all these weekly highs. This high has already been taken off. Look at that high. It has been taken out already. Remember what I said, when they take buy side, they want to come for internal range liquidity. So they might want to make a retracement to fill up this imbalance. Internal range liquidity, there's not much to teach. So if you have your question, you can bring it on. It's just a matter of look daily where you have your drawn liquidity, on the monthly where you have your drawn liquidity, on the weekly, on the 3-day, on the yearly. That's where you need to focus on. When you see your drawn liquidity on higher time frame, lower time frame will be drawn to those zones, and price will trade to those zones. Guys, if you have a question, you can ask. I believe.
Good afternoon.
Using Afraid.com. Guys, nobody have a question.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Good
can.
afternoon. Yes,
Okay.
please. At zones where we have, let's say, price balancing itself instantly, let's say by the candle that it reproduces, can we still have
Come
a
again.
BC at zones where we have price immediately balancing itself? As for instance, when we have a massive push upwards and the next candle has a wick that balances itself, right? And then it continuously moves like that for, let's say, a bullish move. Can we still have a BC at that zone? Can that zone to be identified as a BC?
What do you mean by balance itself and identify by BC?
Let's say, for instance, like this, the right side of your screen before this high was taken out by the rejection of that block. Now, if that's little reversal there, should I say, or that little reversal there that broke the low, I don't know if I can.
Are you talking of this?
No, just to the right.
Yeah.
Yes, the low that was created at the left. Yes. Yes. So when markets sold, when markets started being bearish, now there was a weak. Yes. So it's more like with these weak rejections. So it's more like market was balancing itself.
Are you
So
asking
in
a question
sense,
that you are teaching? Because you are just complicating your question. Ask a
no,
question. Don't say it's more like ask a question. Don't teach me. I don't know what you're saying. Just ask a question.
No, I'm trying to explain it because I don't know how to really frame it as a question. But maybe if I explain it, you may get the question I'm trying to ask. Like, so with this movement that happened, with this movement that first of all happened, that is in today, this first movement that first of all happened, I believe that with the weeks that went up, market was balancing itself, right? So can that
Okay, this one
zone,
that went up like this, bar.
no, the one before then, this one's inside the range, no, before. That is early in the morning, Asian range, I think.
This.
Yes, these areas. Yes, and the next lower high, yes, those eyes. I believe with those retracement back, my price was trying to balance itself. So
Is that
can
what
that
price told you?
zone,
Is that what price told you that it's balancing itself?
no, I believe that is what's happening because if there was
Okay,
any
now stick to your belief because I don't know. I don't know what you're saying about price balancing itself with this week. It has no significance. This has no significance in terms of range. This is just nothing.
Okay.
When you go to higher time frame, is nothing that is here. So you are not having any valid question. Ask a valid question in terms of CB. Don't believe any nonsense you are believing. This has no significance. There's no BC or CB on this range. So why are you having BC or CB right there?
Okay, I'm getting.
There's no BC or CB right here now from what I can see. So I'm wondering why you are having BC or CB.
I'm trying to
balance.
use.
There's no range that is balanced. The price is just doing its thing. So why are you saying that price is balancing its range? Yeah, price is just doing its own normal price, doing its thing. There's no BC, there's no CB. Are you seeing any BC and CB here?
No.
Okay, so what
say the CB is at the other side.
Asking? Eh?
I would say the CB should be at the other side. That is this next and the next low or the next bearish movement that took out the previous high.
I'm not seeing any CB here. No, I don't know where you are seeing CB. Where is the CB? Please annotate the CB. Show me. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I need a glass. Annotate the CB you are seeing.
Okay. This is what I mean. Yes, this area. Now let's say, for instance, if market had its week coming up to here, I believe that would mean that there was no fair value gap, and so market was balanced here.
Where is the balance or where is the fair value gap? Which week? Mark the week, mark the balance.
Let me clear this side. Okay, clear. Okay, so this is supposed to be, sorry. This area is supposed to be a fair value gap, I believe. I say I believe because I'm not sure, so I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so if here is a fair value gap, so if market had its week touching the next week here, that means there will be no fair value gap. So
what
my question is,
market have its weight touching its weight, there will be no fair value gap. This is a fair value gap, there will be no fair value gap. If there's a fair value gap, all price need is to fill it up. Please, there's no fair value gap.
What I
Your
mean, like there's no
problem is
fair
that you don't know how to use a concrete ICT explanation terms. You're confused. What you want to say, if there's a fair value gap, ma'am, price retrace back into that zone, is it properly balanced? You are saying if price retrace into that zone, there's no fair value gap. There's fair value gap, I believe. You're confusing yourself because you're not confusing me. But I believe you're not asking any question. You're just confused.
No,
so
ma,
your confusion now cannot help you.
No, maybe I can't phrase the question, but I've seen charts that, let's say, after this bearish movement here, that is this one, and then this one has its week going up to somewhere here, right, before it continues the movement. So I believe with that week, price is balancing whatever happened here on a lower time frame.
Balancing. Now, you're not asking a question. You're just telling me what you think you know. Stop telling me what you think you know. If you have a question, ask me.
The main question comes in.
So don't put your wrong notion in my head because I'm not accepting whatever you think you know.
No, I want to, that is the explanation to get to the question, because the main question is, would I still consider this
Don't tell me
zone?
any explanation. I'm not interested in the explanation. Just tell me your question. Don't explain to me.
So with
I'm
this zone, yes, I'm trying to tell you what I have in my mind so I can correct whatever wrong notion I have.
Explain. Ask question. I'm your teacher. You can't explain to me. There's nothing you want to tell me now that I will learn from you. So just.
Okay, so with this zone to be considered a CB, because there is imbalance here. Like
on
since market.
Go on.
Since market had its week, like that is if we had a chart, the market had its week. Okay, this is
on the channel, right? You're talking about that zone if it's a CB, right? On the channel, if you look at it, I placed a trade setup for sell continuation, right? Now, what I expected you to ask, Ma, which I used in Charlie to explain, previous day high has been taken out. And when price left that zone, it left impulsively. Yes. On the 30 minutes, you can clearly see a clean fair and reasonable question and question that makes sense that I expect you to ask. Oh, man, so we will be anticipating price to come back into this 30 minutes fair value gap for a consequent encroachment, a proper fill, or an EO Fed. Man, is that what we should be expecting around the breaker? But you are confusing yourself saying right there. This is a 30 minutes fair value gap right there. So previous day high was taken on the 30. I don't know why the objects are not showing. What's wrong with this? Stop. The objects are not showing. It's showing here. It's GA. I hate 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 EA. Look at the 30 minutes. If you look at the 30 minutes,
yes, ma'am. This
is a 30 minutes fair value gap. So where is the CB you are talking about? You are not asking questions. I think some of you need to learn how to ask questions. You guys are mostly confused. Learn how to ask questions that looks like you need an answer. So where is the CB you're talking here now? Now, from what you can see, you see price. Most retail trader now is trading break and retest. But what I can see, I see this high as inducements.
Yes. Yes.
Instead, I see the high as inducement high. And look at this motherfucker. I want to start buying and leaving me. I see the high as inducement. You remember what I said about this zone on the 15-minute, that price might make a retracement there? On this zone. I think I marked it. I think I deleted all the things I have on this chart too. I hope I did not. Let me check. Guys, I'm coming. Let me check my phone. Because I'm not seeing. I think I deleted everything I have on that chart. This is so sad. So sad. Because I think I used Okay, it's forest.com I was using. Forest.com. Okay, now let's go to forest.com. I think that was the broker I was using. Then let me address. Who was asking that question? Ahmed? Was
Yes,
it you?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Was it Ahmed?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Not
Okay.
Ahmed. Not Ahmed.
He said yes, man. Now mean it's Ahmed.
No, David Ahmed. David Ahmed. Yes. Yes, David Ahmed. Ahmed.
Remember this place I marked? Do you see that place
Yes, ma'am.
on the class? Now you see what price is doing. That reaction. That was it 20 minutes? I think it was a 5 minutes. No, it wasn't a 5 minutes. It was a 30 minutes. No. And remember, I said something about an unmitigated demand. This is an unmitigated demand. If you look at the bottom of that bullish candle, it was not properly tapped. It was not properly mitigated. So price just left that zone quickly. Let me use the 15. I think it's the 15 minutes. Yes. You see the 15. I said it was a rejection block that price might react. Now look at what you are asking. Go to the 30 minute now. You can see I used my fib to make the 50% of the fair value gap. And now this is not a CB. What you were asking something that with that sense, would that consider that price has balanced itself by this kind of trading up? Is that not what you're asking?
Yes, ma'am.
You see a fair value. Huh?
I said?
Did you see a fair value gap there, yes or no?
Yes. Yes, there's a fair value gap there. Yes, there's a fair value gap there. I don't know if I can hear.
Yes, I can hear you, darling. Okay. Now, since there is a fair value gap there, has the fair value gap been filled?
No, it has not been filled yet.
The balance as price trading to the CP. Is that not what you want to ask?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you sure that's what you want to ask?
More of, let's say the fair value gap was not there. So the wick encroached over it immediately. That is this other candle.
You're seeing the fair value gap. What do you mean by fair value gap is not there? Are you not seeing the fair value gap now?
Yes, I'm seeing it there. I mean, there was a chart I saw. I can't really remember that the candle went up. So it's more like market keeps on selling and weakening itself to the other side. So this keeps on going like
stop looking at a chart you saw. When you're trading, you look all charts and look for possible drawn. A 30-minute chart is superior than a 15-minute. You are looking at a 15-minute. Why would you abandon 30-minute chart? Now that you have seen the fair value gap, are you seeing that place is that properly balanced?
No, ma'am. No, it's not.
Are you not seeing that was other block that caused the first break of structure?
Yes.
Above that zone, price needs to come. The only thing I want to hear you speak, ma, are you sure? Are we going to expect a complete fill of the fair value gap, or a consequent encroachment, or an EO fed? Is in line with what? A breaker block. This candle was the candle that was responsible for taking out the high. Can't you see the high that was taken out, previous day high?
Yes.
Previous day high was taken out, and it was that candle that was responsible for price taking out the high. Now, where you just need to wait for price to trade in high here. The price traded into that zone. It took out low and broke this high. Price traded into this zone. We want to see if price will make a retracement back into this fair value gap to balance the range.
Yes.
So that's clear, right?
Yes, ma'am. Please, why are we not looking at the rejection block? Why are we looking at
look at it if you want to. Anyway, you want to look at it. Everybody have different view. I'm just teaching you what I know. Don't teach me what you think. What you feel is right.
No, I just want to know why you prefer that.
I just want to tell you that trade what you think is right.
Sir, can I ask a question?
right? Trade what you think is
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Me, I have what I look out for. I cannot tell you go and look at what I am not going to look out. If I'll look at it, I'll tell you. But you can have your look at that zone if, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good.
So
Thank you,
can I ask a question? Hello, Queen, can you hear me?
Go on, the floor is open.
Okay, so based on what he was saying, yeah. When I saw the fair value gap and the breaker is an entry, like you said, and then yesterday he said something about the price could actually use your breaker. It could actually hit it and use it as an inducement for it to go back to the sponsored candle that's up, that's the rejection block rather. So what you
said
mean,
what?
what it means is,
I
what it
said
means
what?
is like when price goes to the breaker, it can also use as an inducement to get to the rejection block.
It can also, as the breaker being reacted upon. Did you see
No,
price
not
reaction
yet,
on that
not yet.
breaker now?
Not yet, not yet.
I think it's after the reaction. That is when it can use a
So
reducement.
my question is, so in like further, like later, we could say, okay, this can be an AOI, like a point of interest of 1. And then if it breaks it, then our next point should be at the rejection block. Is that correct? Or it could actually break the high as well and then give another block for it to continue, right?
Exactly. Depending on the way what you're seeing. I'm just going to look at this breaker and the fair value gap. I'm not going. When I see a reaction in this area, I see a break of structure, I enter. I'm not going to wait because this breaker has not been reacted upon, and I know GU loves breakers.
Okay, thank you.
I will only wait for price to react on the breaker. I am not looking for a sponsored candle. The breaker was actually, this is your sponsor candle right here. This is a rejection block. I am not looking at any other zone. But if the breaker, which is this, I'm looking at the fair value gap, price bouncing off this fair value gap and continue quickly on the downtrend. That's what I'm looking at for. Grab.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, did you grab? Did you understand?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Don't look for inducement. Breaker has not been reacted. This fair value gap is very key. It's in line with a breaker. I can't be looking at price going to rejection block when I have a breaker right there. G rejection block, you can use it. People have different ways. That's why I teach you everything. I teach you sponsor. Wherever you feel like price it, you cannot ask me, do I think price maker? You ask them. All this is I teach you, just anticipate and see the best reaction price. A change in structure. As price is coming back here to be doing higher highs and higher lows. When you not see a change in yourself. But saying to use the breaker, it's like I'm telling me I have money in that algorithm that's moving price. And with one of these things, all you just need to do, anticipate your change in structure. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
very clear. Thank you so much.
That's all for today, guys.